One, two, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Welcome everyone. This is Joe Danger, the host of the Business 901 podcast. With me today is Brandon Brown. He is an associate for the W3 Group and delivers tangible and sustainable continuous improvement results as a Toyota Kata coach and lean instructor. We talk about Kata, we talk about sustainability, and I can see a lean company on their journey attaching themselves to Kata. Is this a way to introduce lean to a company that may be not practicing lean yet? I mean, I see some struggle here in that method. Could you tell me what the obstacle or challenge might be?
Well, as I mentioned, many people come to us that have some type of lean program, and it's plateaued or it's declining, or the people aren't engaged. Other clients come to us that may be just starting their lean journey. An interesting story I have with a company I worked with in Oklahoma. He had been practicing for about 6 years. He had a consultant that had brought him along, and they worked 5S and they worked Kanban boards and everything. And he just felt like there's something missing about Toyota being successful at being able to create the best people that make the best cars in the world, which is a famous quote. He felt there was something missing, and as he started to read the book and learn more about Kata, we did a deployment with him and established the challenges that are in direction with his company's vision. We established improvement katas in about 4 areas, and he began practicing along with coached practice. And he told me toward the end of the deployment, he said, I think we should have started with the Kata methodology and brought in the lean tools as we needed them. He said by just learning the tools, we were focusing on trying to make the tool work and not necessarily trying to get us to a next target condition or closer to the challenges we were facing that particular fiscal year.
We go back to that changing behavior, is that we have to have that target condition or that idea of strategy deployment of where we're going in the future, and then we can do the improvement in the coaching Kata, because we can start establishing the conditions and the conditions of success, let's say.
Exactly. And it's the switch in thinking when you're using the improvement Kata is to a striving mode. We want that learner learning the scientific method of PDCA, but we always want them to be striving forward. It's a motivational factor. We see it in the eyes of these learners as they conduct an experiment and they learn something new and they achieve these target conditions and start to achieve successive target conditions. We can see the inspiration, the fire in their belly, so to speak, of wanting to continue to do more in this striving mode, rather than a reactive mode of saying, well, we had this quality problem, let's try and drill down to the root cause of this quality problem, and thinking we've solved it, and it comes up again in another 6 months, or we keep solving that same particular one. It puts the learner in that case, or the process owner in that case, in a reactive mode, waiting on the next problem to come up, rather than being on the offense and striving toward a condition that we want to operate, which is better, hopefully, than what we have established as our current condition.
Is there something that I didn't ask that you'd like to talk about?
Well, a little bit about deployment and our methodology of how we deploy, because a question people come to us and say, they usually have either read the book, they've attended a seminar, they've become what we call aware of the improvement Kata and the coaching Kata. So they ask then, how can we get started? How can we function with a learner and a coach and a second coach in this triad without having a base level of experience? Most companies don't start out with an experienced Kata coach already on staff. So what we do, we go into a company and we have we develop that vision and challenge those challenge themes from the value stream map and from their Hoshin, and we start with a small group. We call them the advanced group, and it's not meant to mean that they are more advanced in lean or they're more advanced in particular Six Sigma area or something like that. It simply means, Joe, that they're going forward first. They're the first troops that hit the beach, so they're the first ones that are going to experience Kata. So we focus on that 4 to 6 people that are usually site leadership responsibility. And then as we start to look at a particular area for an improvement kata, we have a person from that advanced group or a couple of people from that advanced group and maybe the supervisor, manager of that particular area. We bring them in as a process owner, and we start to establish on site the routine of the coaching kata and the improvement kata, the 4 routines that I talked about for establishing the improvement kata, and then get them actually practicing. You know, it's kind of like take a sport like water skiing. You can read a book about water skiing. You can sit on the beach or by the lake and read that book. You can watch other people water ski, but until you get in the water and you put on the skis, you don't really have an appreciation for what it takes to have the skill of water skiing. And that's an analogy that Bill Costantino, our founding partner, has related to a lot of people. So this advanced group then begins to coach each other with some external coaching periodically. We would come back every couple of weeks for a day or two and help course correct and see if they've met the target condition. What's preventing them from meeting the target condition. We examine what the coaching is and where there may be flaws in the coaching. So we give those first coach and second coach learners some guidance. We do that for a period of about 20 days, 21 days. Again, how long does it take to form a habit? Usually 21 days. So we then rotate those learners out of a learner position into a coaching position, and then maybe the coach into that learner position. So they get to experience what it's like to conduct a PDCA and to have failings that fail forward, and what happens when they do an experiment and they are achieving a success. The most successful deployments, Joe, that I've experienced is when a CEO or a vice president of operations or manufacturing has looked at this process, has looked at the, read the book, went to the awareness seminar, maybe they've been to a workshop, and they understand it and see it to the point that they say, I need to be the learner first. You know, I may be a vice president, I may be able to work well with others, achieve goals, achieve results, but this is a methodology that I need to experience firsthand as a learner and conduct my own PDCAs. And I've had vice presidents that have went to their engineering manager or someone else and say, you be my first coach. I'm going to run the experiment for this first 20 days. And then we're going to rotate those roles. So they get to experience that. So we do that first 60 to 90 days in a coaching learner rotation type model, going an inch wide and the mile deep scenario of trying to build this skill set. Our next stage then is to bring it horizontally within the organization and bringing other middle managers to learn this process. So we now have established a base of 4 to 6 coaches that are at the first coach level that are capable of carrying on and teaching this method to other people, with us guiding periodically as external coaches along the way.
What's the best way for someone to contact you and learn more about Toyota Kata? Where would you point them?
I would point them, they can email me directly at brandon.brown@w3groupllc.com. They can go to our W3 website and meet all of our practitioners on there and make contact. There's a lot of resources, a lot of presentations, a lot of information that they can self-educate themselves a little bit more and a little bit further about that. But they can feel free to email me. My cell phone is usually always on. It's 479-856-1919. So I'm willing to take a call and discuss opportunities and where companies feel that their pain might be, where they might be able to improve.
Heck, he even took my call, so which I thank you very much. This podcast will be available on the Business 901 iTunes Store and the Business 901 website. So thanks everyone for listening.
Thanks, Joe.